hope you're at least okay. Guess who didn't do her eyebrows yet? Me! It's so bad. Oh, I forgot to like turn that light on. I probably should. Y'all, I've been going hard today. I'm trying to like switch some stuff up. So annoying. But I got it, don't worry. Okay. Haven't worn these pants in a while. Oh wow, look at that. I know, boobies. Boobies. Who cares? It's just one of those days. It's one of those days. I have to go and do some stuff outside of the house later. And obviously I'll be wearing a sweatshirt. But I'm also doing laundry, so this is where I'm at right now. I don't even know what to talk about. I've just been so like everywhere today. I did have a really fun time at like a party last night for my friend. And I was like, dang, you doing good? And she was like, I'm doing great. So it went well. I don't even know, you guys didn't need to know that, but you're welcome. You're welcome. Now you do. Hi, George. But also, because of it, I had a really hard time getting like into the flow of stuff today. I didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. I'm tired. Also, I'm not doing it now, but I have something I want to show you. Look how big my plant is. It's so big. I think it's outgrown its pot just a little bit. The roots are coming out, and it really likes the grow light that I gave it, so yay! Like the leaves are having baby leaves. It's insane. So I've just been like, oh, okay. And then in that container, I'm probably gonna put a Italian oregano. I think that's what it's called. Because this was kind of like against the wall. That's why it's flat here. But it'll kind of like branch out a bit. It'll look better soon. Yeah, it is time for a bigger pot. I've been feeling bad about it for a little while. Today has been such a chill news day. Hi, anxious raccoon. For the most part, so I've just been like, I don't even know if we have a lot of politica to talk about. But how are you, anxious? Hopefully not anxious. Trash bear. That's what I call raccoons. Garbage bears, you're celebrating what? Tell me. You got promoted, congratulations. Would you like to share? Would you like to share? Hmm. Hi, type 2 and chaotic. You've been away at the beach? Okay. Vibes. I hope you've been having fun. I'm gonna refresh so your guys' names aren't the same color. Chaotic says, how are you, Josie? I'm chill. I'm tired. I had like a very casual day. It's been raining off and on today, which was really nice. So I've just been able to take advantage of that and be a vegetable. Very fun, good times. Vibes. Lots of seafood. Kodak says, I see, I'm glad you're chill. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm finally getting like a bit of my like personality back, which is really exciting. It's been like 3 years, Lamau. Anxious says I'm gonna be in charge of the nursing home laundry by myself and get $300 a month more than I've gotten. Ooh! Congratulations, I'm proud of you. You're leading a department. Look at you go. It's a good resume builder. Anytime someone gets promoted, I'm like, hey, resume builder. Because, like, you gotta constantly be applying. I mean, if you're competitive about it. Sorry, that sounds like a Debbie Downer thing to say. I completely apologize. But I mean that in, like, the best way. It's so good. I love that so much. Congratulations, Anxious. I hope you celebrate. I hope you do something fun for yourself. That's actually really exciting. Hey, hey. Everybody is having a good day. Knock on wood. Kodak says, oh, dang. Oh, I know the feeling. I've also struggled with feeling like I don't have a personality myself. Fortunately, I'm better in this regard. I'm happier also better in this aspect. Oh, well, it's not that I felt like I didn't have a personality. Like, that's not it. It's just, I was, like, really sad. Like, I don't want to be, like, a Debbie Downer, so I was sad. Like, I don't know. Most of my family passed away in, like, 2 years. And, like, everyone who raised me, like, died. So I was like, aw, sad. And I couldn't really, like, do a lot of stuff and have fun doing it. Like, my motivation for things was gone. Anxious says, I don't want to build my resume. I want to be there forever. Heck yeah. If you found your passion, do it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm very happy for you. I hope that you do get to stay if you want to. Caddick says, Josie, did you see Trump at the UN? What did you think about it? Honestly, I didn't watch it. We could watch it here though. I was watching the Security Council meeting about the situation in Gaza. Obviously, the United States was the only one that was like opposing anything. It was a couple hours long, and I think that was happening roughly around the same time. Anxious says, I get good money there, I get respected, I'm doing things I care about. Yeah. Also, yeah. I'd rather people be happy as long as you have everything you need to take care of yourself. I want people to have like a good job. And if you love it, you love it. There is nothing wrong with that. I'm speaking at the UN. I don't want it to seem like that. Like, I always like to see people progress and like whatever they have going on. Is he like speaking right now with people or no? Oh, Fox News he spoke for a fucking hour? Are you serious? I'm gonna get the C-SPAN. Okay, it's cute. If you guys want to talk about it, we can. My people are very proud of me, as they should be. There's nothing to prove here, bro. I'm here for you. You should be excited. I'm excited with you. I just like seeing people go in the right direction. And passion is really important. Let's see. Boop. Boop. There we go. So congratulations. I hope you do celebrate. What's your plan for celebrating? This feels like a continuation of me celebrating yesterday. I went to an event, like a party for one of my friends, and she was celebrating really hardcore, and it was really late. So then like today, I was lucky to not like have work. So I got like back, I got back home, and then I've been chilling because I don't know. I feel like this is a good time to like transition in life, you know, like do like the next thing or whatever. At least for me personally, and adjust my schedule and that sort of thing. So yeah, I just kind of had a chill day. So I'm very happy you have a do nothing day too. Those are the best days. Do you ever? Sometimes I do like a little spa day to treat myself. I'll like sometimes. It's not that I don't like shower every day or whatever, but I'll let myself get like gross, so I have to do everything. Yeah, it's like transition in life. Oh, not like that. I don't really. I don't know. I feel bad saying it, but like I've never cared about like how people address me gender wise. So I'm just like I more power to the people I do. It sounds so bad. I feel like I'm digging myself deeper right now. Okay. Yes. Man, I was watching some stuff earlier today about uh oh, what the fuck do you call it? The entertainment industry and trans people, how they get like typecasted. So there's this model called Hunter Schafer, and she's kind of like the trans, like idealistic model vibe that everyone who's a model kind of like does what she does and copies her look a little bit, or kind of like their agencies tell them to look more like her, otherwise they won't really work with them, which is so weird. And I'm going to be really excited when trans people, both men and women, get to express themselves more like how they want to. You're allowed to laugh, your girlfriend is trans. Okay. I mean, I think it's okay to laugh too. It was really interesting. It wasn't really like a documentary or whatever. It was just like a short series that someone did on TikTok. And obviously, I don't remember their name. If I find it again, I don't know. Maybe I'll like post it on Discord or something. I'm so sorry. But do you guys really want to watch like the UN thing? Cuz I'm down to watch it. Trump's speech. Or we can watch like little bits of it cuz I'm curious to see what he says. Yeah, what world leaders spoke though? I want to know. I want to know what world leaders are speaking. What? Macron. Let's see. Brazilian President Luiz. Qatari Emir. Let's see. South African President also does it. Let's see who else. Who else? Who else? The dogs are just like they're in the other room just like heavy breathing. Katic says let's watch it. We don't need to watch the full thing, but watching the main parts is good for me. Okay, but Anxious says I'm gonna put on some pirate music to get rum cola. Okay. I'll pin this for like 2 hours, yo. I know this shit's gonna take a minute. I know it will. And I'll try to be more genuine with my reactions to things, because y'all are like, you're so bland about it, and it's Are you happy, Ollie? Did you have good play? Good playtime? Okay. My dog is so hyped right now. Let's see. Trump UN speech. I always like mix up speak and speech, like the spelling. English is my first. Show us the animal. Ollie. Ollie, you want to say hi, love? Monsieur. Hello, Sucky boy. Come here. Come here. He's really big, by the way. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, all the dogs. There's his nose. He's fainting though, so I don't want to bug him too much. And this room's a little bit warmer because of the lights in the plants. Hi, Sandy. Yeah, he's a big foofy boy. He weighs 115 pounds. So big. And our other dog weighs, let's see, like, you wish you weighed 150? Oh, I feel like, no. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think you do. That's not good. Okay, chat. Okay, chat, I'm ready. Also, hi, Schmicky Schmoo. Please clap. I'm gonna eat little candies while we watch this. I also hate the green marble that they have at the UN. It's so ugly.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciated.
Hmm.
And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter, because the teleprompter is not working.
Good.
I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. Hello, Madam First Lady. Thank you very much for being here. And Madam President,
I'm back.
Mr.
What I missed?
Secretary
Nothing. We
General,
just started.
First Lady of the United States, distinguished delegates, ambassadors,
It has just
and
begun.
world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents.
He's already
An era
fucking
of
doing it.
calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble, but today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy,
Maybe global warming,
the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth.
He's just showboating.
This
He's
is
just
indeed
fucking
the golden
showboating.
age
Oh my god.
of America. We are rapidly
He's having a go at
reversing the
London,
economic
Josie.
calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and
Everyone's like at
record-setting
attention.
inflation.
They're just like,
Inflation like we've never had
attention.
before.
Does he see me? Does he see me?
Under my leadership, energy costs are
Look,
down.
Daddy, I'm watching.
Gasoline prices are down. Grocery prices are down. Mortgage rates are down. And inflation has been defeated.
Me too, Melania. Just like,
The only thing that's up is the stock market, which just hit
no hat this
a
time,
record
though.
high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times in the last short period of time. Growth is surging, manufacturing is...
Daria says Sadiq Khan is a shit mayor, but there's no movement to do Sharia law. We just want the tube to run on time. Does he bring that up?
Is booming.
It's like so irrelevant.
The stock market, as I said, is doing
Not
better
you,
than
but
it's
him.
ever done. And all of you in this room benefit by that. Almost everybody.
I'll try to be better
And
with my words,
importantly,
but I'm gonna
workers'
fuck it up.
wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years.
Because he says London has a Muslim marriage that's trying to force.
In 4 years,
He doesn't even know what Sharia law
President
even
Biden,
fucking is.
we had less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion. Think of it, 4 years, less than $1 trillion, 8 months, much more than $17 trillion.
Yo, George says, I just paid $2.85 for a gallon of gas. That's cheap. Most of America's gas comes from America. Like, when we have really high gas prices, it's usually partially our fault on how much we're drilling and, like, doing that sort of thing. A lot of America's money comes from oil and gas resources. Like that for a bit. Gas isn't petrol for the car. That's so cheap.
Is being invested in the United
Yeah,
States.
but they don't really talk
And
about
it's
why.
now pouring
And
in
okay,
from-
pull up. Literally, when he was meeting in the UK, like what, last week, 2 weeks ago, some shit like that, he was mentioning how they were going to lower the price of oil and gas as much as they could so that they could hurt Russia's economy in the only way that they can. And they were wanting to match up, like pair up with the Gulf states or, you know, countries for Americans or whatever, and potentially lower more and more prices, which is why he wants to meet with a lot of the leadership from that region, which I think he's doing later this week. So obviously they're going to talk about Gaza, Palestine, Israel, that debacle, but it's going to have a lot to do with gas as well.
All parts of the world. We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history and the largest
It's because you
regulation
have to
cuts
import, Darius.
in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business. And many of the people in this room are investing in America, and it's turned out to be an awfully good investment during this 8-month period. In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever.
It is not the best.
History of the world. And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time it's actually much bigger. And
Only
even
if
better.
you're really fucking rich.
The numbers far
Good for the
surpass
rich
my
people.
record-setting first term. On our southern border,
Yeah,
we've
I know, Darius.
successfully
That's what I'm
repelled
thinking.
a
I'm like,
colossal
yeah.
invasion. And
The
for the
best.
last 4 months,
Okay,
the next 4 months
Ollie,
in a
it's a little
row,
too hot for you in here.
the number
You might
of
have to go to
illegal
the other room.
aliens admitted and
Yeah,
entering our
we just wanna
country
be here with you.
has been zero.
Okay.
Hard to believe. Because if you look back just
No,
a year
we
ago,
don't,
it was millions
Darius.
and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons,
It'd be nice if we
from
did,
mental
though.
institutions, drug dealers.
Or for
All
petrol
over
gas,
the world
yeah.
they came. They just poured into our country with the
I think Gulf
ridiculous
countries or
open
Gulf
border
states
policy
do.
of the Biden administration. Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means. I want to thank the country of El Salvador for the successful and professional job they've done in receiving and jailing so many criminals that entered our country.
But then that's not
under
the cheapest in
previous
the world.
administration that the number became record-setting, and they're all being taken out. We have no choice. And other countries have no choice because other countries are in the exact same situation with immigration. It's destroying your country, and you have to do something about it. On the world stage, America is respected again like it has never been respected before.
Again.
You think about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years
As he
ago,
wasn't
or 1
fucking
year
invited
ago,
to go to
we were a
China for the
laughingstock
parade.
all over the world.
Like all of his
At the
fucking
NATO
buddies
summit
he
in
wants
June,
to be
virtually
cozy
all
with.
NATO members formally committed to increase defense spending at my request from 2% to 5% of GDP, making our alliance far stronger and more powerful.
That's right, George, but
than it
that's
was
also a
ever
higher
before.
percentage than most other
In May, I
countries.
traveled to the Middle East to visit my friends and rebuild our partnerships in the Gulf.
Bro, I
and
know,
those
Darius.
valued relationships with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE and other countries are now, I believe, closer.
I'm gonna go set up a cooling spot for Ollie because you need a cool spot, baby. Is that what we need? You need cool? I know it's too hot. Are we okay? We good? I'm feeling his ears to see how warm they are. Okay. Okay, he's good. He's cooling down. A cooling spot. So like I'll take
ever before.
like ice packs, like really
My
big ones, and
administration
I'll wrap
has
them in towels and I'll lay them
one
down for
historic
the
trade
dogs
deal
to lay
after
on.
another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union,
Especially when they're
Japan,
overheated.
South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going
He didn't end
for
all of
31
them
years.
either.
2 of them, 31, think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars. And in all cases, they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. This includes Cambodia
Oh,
and
there you
Thailand,
go.
Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran.
Yeah, he's just taking
Egypt
credit for a
and
lot of
Ethiopia
conflicts that were happening.
and Armenia.
Yeah, Cambodia, Kosovo. Yeah, he's trying to take credit for all of the conflicts that the U.S. supposedly had some say in. Basically, if there was any communication from the United States to any of the countries that had a resolution in their conflict, then they're good. And with the India-Pakistan situation, you know how they're fighting over like that northern land that they have up there, where like along their border. They didn't even have like an official war or anything like that, so he's trying to classify certain things in a way that makes him look better.
Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included
Yeah,
all of
Kashmir.
them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that.
I know, Darius.
And I did it in just
The best of mates.
7 months. It's never happened
No,
before.
none of it's
There's never been
resolved at
anything
all.
like that.
But he's
Very
saying that
honored
it
to have
is
done
because there's no active
too
like
bad.
fighting. Okay, baby. I got like. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get him some stuff. I'll be back. Okay, are we okay? Yeah. Basically, I just get like giant ice packs that I have, and can we lay down? Here you go. I know, Sandy, you have yours over there. I give you yours too. Everybody has their. Yes. Yeah, but long story short, the land dispute is not resolved. Here you go. Yeah, I know, Ollie. Okay, we play again.
That I had to do these
Hopefully I don't
things
pause it too many times.
instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing.
Oh, shit,
deal.
Mr. Meow, it's true.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. and then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the two things I got from the United Nations: a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
Right.
Thank you very much. And by the way, it's working now. It just went on. Thank you. I think I should
I
just
wish
do
they
it the
just
other way.
like
It's
left
easier.
it without it.
Thank you very much.
Every time he messes up,
I
he's like,
didn't
"It's
think
the
of it
teleprompter,
at the
guys."
time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact,
Oh, yeah.
not during these negotiations, which were not easy.
Anytime Trump
That being
hijacks
the
anything to
case,
make it about his
what is the
campaign,
purpose of the
his
United
base likes
Nations?
it.
The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
He
For
wants
the
the
most part,
UN
at
to
least
send
for now,
troops out
all
again.
they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war. The only thing that
Just in
solves
general.
war and wars is action.
See,
Now, after ending all of these wars and also earlier
we've talked about this before.
negotiating the Abraham Accords, which is a very big thing for which our country received no credit, never receives credit. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and
I
daughters
doubt
who
Darius.
live to grow up
He's trying to play
with the
both
mothers
sides.
and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed.
Not even trying. He
in
is with
endless
Ukraine and Russia.
unglorious wars. What I care about is not winning prizes, it's saving lives. We saved millions and millions of lives with the 7 wars. And we have others that we're working
Yeah,
on.
Obama
you know
got the
that.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump,
Ooh.
I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I
That's true,
remember it
that's
so
true.
well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. It would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their
He's
building
trying to make this
concepts
all
were
about
so
him.
wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and
Well,
so
he wants to
costly.
have more influence on that
It
shit,
was going to
Darius.
cost them a fortune. And I said, and
primarily
wait till
what
you
it's
see
on
the
about.
overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building and did not even get the marble floors that I promised them.
This is the man who went bankrupt multiple times and had to get bailed out by the government and his fucking family. Why? And that was in the same era.
You walk on terrazzo. Do you notice that? As far as I'm
True,
concerned,
chaotic.
frankly, looking at the building and getting stuck on the escalator, they still haven't finished the job. They still haven't finished. That was years ago. The project was so corrupt that Congress actually asked me to testify before them on the tremendous waste of money, because it turned out that they had no idea what it was, but they knew it was anywhere between $2 and $4 billion as opposed to $500 million with a guarantee. But they had no idea, and I said it cost much more than $5 billion. Unfortunately,
Exactly,
many things in
Darius.
the United Nations are happening just like that.
He can't talk
But on
about
an
policies or
even much bigger
unification.
scale, much bigger.
All he can do is talk about
Very
himself.
sad to see whether the UN can manage to play a productive role. I've come here today to offer the hand of American leadership and friendship to any nation in this assembly that is willing to join us in forging a safer, more prosperous world. And it's a world that we'll be much happier with. A dramatically better future is within our reach. But to get there, we must reject the failed approaches of the past and work together to confront some of the greatest threats in history. There is no more serious danger to our planet today than the most powerful and destructive weapons ever devised by man, of which the United States, as you know, has many. Just as I did in my first term, I've made containing these threats a top priority, starting with the nation of Iran. My position is very simple. The
They should
world's number
cut
one
to
sponsor of terror can never be
Iran's
allowed to possess
representatives.
the most dangerous
Iran.
weapon. That's why, shortly after taking office, I
Iran.
sent the so-called Supreme Leader a letter
I don't know how
making
you're
a
supposed to
generous
say it
offer.
here in the West.
I extended a pledge of full cooperation in exchange for
No,
a
Mr. Meow, he
suspension
said
of Iran's
the
nuclear
teleprompter is working
program.
now.
The regime's
He's
answer is to
glancing at it.
continue their constant threats to their neighbors and
I see they cut
U.S.
to him.
interests
Look,
throughout.
look at their fucking faces. They're listening through the translators. Oh my god! And they're just like, bitch, what the fuck?
The region,
Me too.
and some great countries that are
Oh,
right
I thought you
nearby.
meant the escalator was working.
Today, many of Iran's former
I
military
don't know.
commanders, in fact,
I think
I
it's
can
the
say
teleprompter.
almost
He
all
said
of
that a little
them,
bit earlier.
are no longer with us. They're dead. And 3 months ago, in Operation Midnight Hammer, 7 American B-2 bombers dropped the 14 30,000-pound each bombs on Iran's key nuclear
He's reading
facility,
parts of this, I think, like right now. Yeah, he is.
obliterating everything. No other country on earth could have done what we did. No other country has the equipment to do what we did.
Some
We have the
teleprompters
greatest
have like the
weapons on
full
earth.
speech
We hate
that
to
they go
use
off
them,
of, and other
but we did
teleprompters just
something
have
that
like little
for
like
22 years
details or
people
highlights
wanted to
that he
do.
should hit.
With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity
Is he
demolished,
looking
I
at like
immediately
Iran's
brokered an end
leaders
to
right
the
now, or
12-day
Iran's?
war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has
He's
repeatedly
why there's no
rejected
ceasefire.
reasonable
He's literally funding it. Oh my fucking
offers to
god.
make peace. We
What
can't
the
forget
fuck?
October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued
I
conflict,
hate this dude.
some
This
of
dude's
this
such a
body
fucking
seeking
prick.
to
He's such a
unilaterally
little bitch
recognize
in
a
everything he
Palestinian
fucking
state.
says. I don't even know his
The
name. I don't
rewards
respect him enough to learn it, but oh my
would be too
god.
great
He's
for
annoying.
Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept a ceasefire. Instead of giving to Hamas and giving so much, because they've taken so much, they have taken so much. This could have been solved so long ago. But instead of giving in to Hamas's ransom demands, those who want peace should be united with one message: release the hostages now. Just release the hostages now.
Bro, why are people clapping? Stop fucking clapping. Jesus.
Thank you. As we have got
Oh
to
my god.
come together, and we will come together, got to get it done. We have to stop the war in Gaza immediately. We have to stop it. We have to get it done. We have to negotiate. Immediately have to negotiate peace. We got to get the hostages back. We want all 20 back. We don't want 2 and 4. As you know, I got, along with Steve Witkoff and others that helped us, Marco Rubio, we got most of them back. We were involved in all of them. But I always said the last 20 are going to be the hardest, and that's exactly what happened. We have to get them back.
He like
now.
never
We don't want to
fucking
get
said
back
that, by
2,
the way,
and then another
publicly.
2, and then 1, and then 3. Have this process. No, we want them all back, and we want the actually 38 dead bodies back too. Those parents came to me and they want them back, and they want them back very quickly and very badly, as though they were alive. They want them. They want them
They
every bit
base
as
a lot of
much as
support
if
on their
their
basis
son
that they're
or
hostages.
daughter were alive. I've also been working
The
relentlessly,
hostages,
stopping.
like so many people who talk about Israel, Palestine, the conflict, everyone acknowledges that the only reason why Israel hasn't fucking completely leveled Gaza at this point is because of the hostages. Like, that's literally it.
The killing in Ukraine. I thought that would be, of the 7 wars that I stopped, I thought that would be the easiest because of my relationship with President Putin, which had always been a good one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But you know, in war, you never know what's going to happen. There are always lots of surprises, both good and bad. Everyone thought Russia would win this war in 3 days, but it didn't work out that way. It was supposed to be just
Not
a quick
everyone
little
thought that.
skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad. No matter what happens from here on out, this was something that should have taken a matter of days, certainly less than a week.
Yeah.
And they've been fighting for 3.5 years.
Ukraine's just like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Vibes. Daria says it's been sold by their governments that they needed to get the hostages back, so it's probably the only thing he said that they find political capital in. That's why I think they're clapping. I just wouldn't clap at anything. I think the optics of clapping for him is just worse than sitting there silently.
And killing anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 young soldiers, mostly
And there's lots of representatives who do favor him slightly.
Week, from 5,000 to 7,000
I'm not going to be like
people,
disillusioned
and some in
by like
cities, much smaller
my
numbers.
perspective. Like I understand some people like him, and they're just going to clap every time he pauses.
This war would never have started if I were president. This was a war that should have never happened.
He really wants to push.
It shows you what leadership is, what bad leadership can do to a country.
Oh my God.
Look what happened to the United States, and look where we are right now in just a short period of time.
Oh, he got
the only
it clap
question
earlier.
now is how many more lives
This is like the second one, I think.
Needlessly lost on both sides. China and India are the primary funders of the ongoing war by continuing to purchase Russian oil. But inexcusably, even NATO countries have not cut off much Russian energy and Russian energy products.
Yep.
Which, as you know, I found out about 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't happy. Think of it. They're funding the war against themselves. Who the hell ever heard of that one? In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But
imagine what these reps would say, like behind closed doors. They'd just be like, "What the fuck?"
Gathered here right now would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures.
I'm curious about what they actually have to say. I don't want to speculate too much.
You're right there, and Europe has to step it up. They can't be doing what they're doing. They're buying oil and gas from Russia while they're fighting Russia. It's embarrassing to them.
Imagine the scenes in the embassies as he goes on about India funding the war in Ukraine.
But they have to immediately cease all energy purchases from Russia. Otherwise, we're all wasting a lot of time. So I'm ready to discuss this. We're going to discuss it today with the European nations, all gathered here. I'm sure they're thrilled to hear me speak about it, but that's the way it is. I like to speak my mind and speak the truth as we seek to reduce the threat.
This is so fucking hypocritical.
Today, I'm also calling
they could actually be correct on this, but you can't be saying this in the US.
Biological weapons.
Yeah, he's being super. Like, the UN is supposed to be like a unifying thing. It's supposed to be like, we can all agree, at least I assume you guys agree with me from what you guys have been saying. Whatever. In my humble fucking opinion, the UN is supposed to be about just like symbolic stuff. It's not necessarily trying to come up with a lot of actual change and actual agreements. It's supposed to be like, hey, this is what we feel comfortable saying to our fellow nations, and this is what our nation's stance is on these issues. So that's why watching the UN can be very helpful. Actually expecting them to execute or like execute any like initiative if something happens, like send out troops if there's like a war or whatever, or anything like that. That's not what the UN's about. And expecting it to be that way is why a lot of people think it's useless. I personally think that there's not going to be a lot of action that ever comes from the UN, but there's also not supposed to be a lot of action that comes from the UN. It's just supposed to be a global stage. And having that here in America is a really big deal. But he's also kind of fucking ruining it right now because he's making it not a safe place for those communications to be had. If he's trying to be like, oh, well, we're hosting and we're going to gang up on these people, just in his speech, it's just not the best look. I don't think he should be doing that. Let's see. Darius says 100% for me. It's a symbol of the desire to work and cooperate and a goodwill thing. Yeah. Yeah. And it says a lot. Like, if you want to understand what's going on in a nation, it can be really hard because not all of the news media in certain countries is something that people can understand or translate or have easy access to reliable resources that translate it for you. So the UN is very useful in that regard. And I really personally don't think it should go much further than that. I know a lot of people would disagree. They want more initiative, but I really don't. I really don't think that's the best thing because that initiative can make there be a more like appeal for corruption, and I would rather it be more of a symbolic gesture than anything else because that corruption at a global stage could destroy like the world as we know it. Dari says, it's kind of meant to be the best of us without political realities. It's not the forum for this clown to accuse China and India of funding a war in Europe. And there is a time and place to do that. Like, I'm not saying that that sort of thing doesn't happen in UN meetings. Like, the meeting that I was watching earlier, it was with all of it was basically about, like, Gaza and that sort of thing. They were diving really deep into what was happening in the whole situation. And they're like, hey, it's messed up that you're doing it this way. It's messed up that you're doing it this way. We don't agree with what you're doing. These are different things that our countries have proposed. We could do, like, I think it was a security meeting. And yeah, that's where you do it. But here, when you're addressing everyone, you can make like little snide remarks of being like, oh, well, we've had a lot of conflict with so and so. But the overall idea is to try to make it so that you can patch through it, at least optically speaking. Let's see. Daria says, yes, I agree. He might be right on this, but the UN is not where you start a fucking diplomatic crisis because they wouldn't let you put marble floors in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of stuff, entirely inappropriate. I completely agree.
Biological is terrible.
Because it's not about him. He's making it about
even
him.
Beyond, and we include
it's not about his campaign. It's about the country he fucking represents.
A cessation
and he can't
of the development
separate the two.
Nuclear weapons. We know, and I know, and I get to view it all the time. Sir, would you like to see? And I look at weapons that are so powerful that we just can't ever use them. If we ever use them, the world literally might come to an end. There would be no United Nations to be talking about. There would be no nothing. Just a few years ago, reckless experiments overseas gave us a devastating global pandemic. Yet despite that worldwide catastrophe, many countries are continuing extremely risky research into bioweapons and man-made pathogens. This is unbelievably dangerous. To prevent potential disasters, I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce.
Darius, I highly, if you don't mind, try to take some time, and this may seem like a little rude, I'm not trying to be rude, but if you can, I highly recommend watching some of the smaller meetings that happen in the UN, because that sort of dissing does happen more than you think, but it's not at this forum level, not from a world leader. Yeah, I agree.
Biological Weapons Convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust. Hopefully the UN can play a constructive role, and it will also be one of the early projects under AI. Let's see how good it is, because a lot
My
of
friend's
people are
wife
saying it
works at
could
the
be
UN. I know what goes on there,
one of
which
the
is
great
mainly
things
people planning
ever.
dinners. I
But it
know.
also
There's
can
not a
be
lot of
dangerous,
constructive
but it
stuff
can
that
be
happens.
put to tremendous use and tremendous good, and this would be an example of that. Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems
It's all
for
about
us to solve.
optics.
The best example is the number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372
I'm glad there's
million
some
in
grumbles
cash
to that one.
assistance to support
Because what
an
the fuck is he
estimated
saying here? I know, Darius,
624,000
yeah.
migrants journeying into the United States.
It's just gonna get worse,
Think of
like,
that.
I
The
know.
UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border.
Refugees. They were refugees.
Millions of people came through
Oh my
that
God.
southern border. Just a year
Oh my
ago,
God.
millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have it stopped, totally stopped. In fact, they're not even coming anymore because they know they can't get through. But what took place is totally unacceptable. The UN is supposed to stop invasions, not create them and not finance them. In the United States, we reject the idea that mass numbers of people from foreign lands can be permitted to travel halfway around the world, trample our borders, violate our sovereignty, cause
Refugees.
unmitigated crime,
He's against fucking
and deplete
refugees.
our social
fuck?
safety net. We have reasserted that America belongs to the American people, and I encourage all countries
Oh
to
my God.
take their own stand in defense of their citizens as well. You have to do that because I see it. I'm not mentioning names. I see it, and I can call every single one of them out. You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed.
Oh, Darius, yeah.
Europe is in serious trouble.
Totally
They've
not.
been invaded by a force
Colonizer
of
Central
illegal
Europe.
aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody is ever, and nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor. And
There's
it's
a
been so
London chat, Darius.
so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicide.
He doesn't even fucking know what Sharia law is. He just knows it's like a trigger word. I know, he doesn't know anything. I barely know shit about London. So, like, why? I don't know.
Energy
This
ideas
dude's
will be
fucking
the
crazy.
death of Western Europe.
Who's
If
just
something
meeting?
is not done immediately, this cannot be sustained. What makes the world so beautiful is that each country is unique. But to stay this way, every sovereign nation must have the right to control their own borders. You have the right to control your borders, as we do now, and to limit the sheer
Darius.
numbers of migrants entering their countries.
Death of
and
Western
paid for
civilization.
by the people of that nation that were there and that built that particular nation at the time. They put their blood, sweat, tears, money into that country, and now they're being ruined. Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies
He's
from being
so
overwhelmed
fucking
by people
Islamophobic.
they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything, where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons. They should, in many cases.
Oh my God. I'm not going to dive super deep into this, but I have literally made so many like broadcasts about refugees, what it takes to be a refugee, the qualifications that you have to meet, and all that shit. I've literally, like, we've talked about this so many times. It is something that is internationally agreed upon. And turning away refugees is violating international law. Like, Trump has been violating international law so many times, and now he's trying to encourage that other people reject that as well and follow through with what he's doing. It's actually insane.
Be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate, answers will be given. We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. And we are very helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send
for the longest time, refugee law has been almost unanimously like accepted by every single country in the world. Literally for so long. There's certain cases where people say no, but that's more of a case by case basis, and it's for certain things. But yeah, it's something that almost every single country has been like, there's conditions every once in a while where we say no, but we will generally abide by this. And he's trying to get people to completely reject that. He's been on that for ever since fucking 2016.
30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted.
The same.
But not
it's
anymore.
Like the Geneva
According
Convention
to
for
the
Warfare.
Council of Europe in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%, and in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did, they repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
He's trying
we've taken bold action.
He's trying to emotionally hit the people there and try to promote his own rhetoric in other people's countries because he knows that this is going to make news in those countries specifically. And he's trying to spark the same outrage that has happened here in the United States and that same level of nationalism in those countries because it's only going to benefit him further. If he's trying to cause a lot of conflict within the UN because having the UN exist is not advantageous for him and what he wants in the future. It's like this is literally like sabotage. It's insane.
To swiftly shut down
Darius says this is very strong narrative around Europe
once
at the
we
moment.
started detaining and deporting everyone who crossed the border and removing illegal aliens from the United States,
Darius.
They simply stopped coming. They're not coming anymore. We're getting a lot of credit, but they're not coming anymore. This was a humanitarian act for all involved because on the trips up, thousands of people a week were dying. Women were being raped. Nobody's ever seen anything
Spain's been
like
having really big
raped,
protests recently, right?
Horribly beaten, raped. On the trip up, the journey up, it was a long walk. It was a long, arduous journey, indeed. And it was also a historic victory against human trafficking throughout the region. What we did was a victory, and we saved so many lives of people that wouldn't make
Southern Europe is less
was
affected than Central and Northern from my perspective.
Loaded up with death. Dead bodies all along the roads of jungles. To get up, they go through jungles, they go through areas so hot you couldn't breathe. They were dying of suffocation, areas so hot that you couldn't breathe. Dead bodies all over. By them not coming, we're saving tremendous numbers of lives. My people have done a fantastic job in doing what they did, and the American public agrees with it. I mean, I was very proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had. Part of it is because of what we've done on the border. I guess
he's just been blatantly lying about a lot of shit this entire time.
Joe Biden's policies empowered murderous gangs,
Holy
human
shit.
smugglers, child traffickers, drug cartels, and prisoners from all over the world.
Yeah.
The previous administration
Well, my perspective on European stuff, which like I'm not gonna dive really deep into because we're like halfway through this and I do have to leave in like 30 minutes. I don't even know if we'll be able to fully like complete this unless I like power through. But the Mediterranean area, which, you know, Southern Europe, Levantine belt, obviously like, you know, like Turkey, Greece, that sort of thing too. And then you have lots of North Africa, right? All of this region has been more affected by the stuff that's going on with like Israel and Palestine and stuff like that. So there's been a lot more of a unification about what's going on there and a lot more progressive or left-leaning policies being promoted because of it because they have to see the actual effects of it because they're taking in more of those refugees than other countries are. But the other countries that are more north, they're not taking that same level in. And because they don't have to see it, because it's basically like not on their doorstep, they're not able to really process the extent of what's actually happening because it seems so far away, you know? Let's see. Adaria says the Mediterranean areas of Europe are deeply racist on the street levels. It's very common in Italy and Spain to see it openly expressed. Yeah, I know that. I'm not trying to be like that's not a thing, but I'm also saying that they're less likely to succumb to this level of nationalism in the same way that Central and Northern Europe are, because that distance isn't as strong. Like, because of that proximity, there is going to be like more rhetoric. It's like you have so many people packed into such a small area, all sharing the same ocean, basically. Both of those countries have a history with nationalism. Yes, I know. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm saying that it's not the same level as a lot of northern countries, Northern European or Central European. Because they're close to a lot more of the action right now. That's just my perspective. You can prove me wrong if you would like to, and that's okay. But that's just where my opinion is right now.
More than 300,000 children, little children, who were trafficked into the United States on the Biden watch, many of whom have been raped, exploited, and abused, and sold. Sold.
I guess that's
Nobody
partially
talks
true,
about
Darius.
that. The fake news doesn't write about it.
But why are they so easily
With many
stoked,
others,
you know?
young children
Compared
who
to
are
like
missing
Southern
or
Europe.
dead. And we found a lot of these children, and we're sending them
That's
back.
what I'm trying to get at.
And we've been sending them back to their parents. They said, nobody knows who they are. They said, where do you come from? And they'll give us a country, and we'll find out, and we'll figure it out, and we'll bring them back to their homes. And the mother and father rush to the door, and their tears in their eyes. They can't believe that they're seeing their son or daughter, their little son or daughter again. We've done almost 30,000 of them so far.
Yeah.
Any system that results in the mass trafficking of children is inherently evil. Yet that is exactly what the globalist migration agenda has done, and it's what it's all about. In America, those days, as you know,
So I'm trying to focus on this too. I feel like we should talk about this more tomorrow. I'd be really, really interested in talking about
the villains that are causing this problem.
Because I want to be sure that we get through this.
To get back the 30,000 we've already returned. Now I think we're going to have another.
Yeah.
We're going to find a lot. You're not going to find all of them. 300,
That's also
more
true,
than
Darius.
300,000. They're lost or they're dead. They're lost or they're dead because of the animals that did this. To protect our citizens, I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as forest. And you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes.
Oh my God.
Let's put it this way. People don't like taking big loads of drugs in boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore.
We've talked about this. I know savage animals. I know.
Our country by sea.
That's what he calls people who are not white.
Hundreds of thousands of people. I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as foreign terrorist organizations, along with two bloodthirsty transnational gangs, probably the worst gangs
cartel-related either.
MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua is from Venezuela, by the way. Such organizations torture, maim,
America's
mutilate,
more
and murder
bloodthirsty than
with
these
impunity.
fucking people
They're the
that he's
enemies of
talking
all
about.
humanity. And for this reason, we've recently
That's
begun
why our
using
economy's
the
fucking
supreme
built
power
on
of the
war.
United States military
What the hell?
to destroy Venezuelan terrorists and
Yeah.
trafficking networks led by Nicolas Maduro, to every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America. Please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying.
Everyone's just like,
I
what the
believe we lost
fuck?
300,000 people last year to drugs.
Night, George.
300,000. Fentanyl and other drugs.
I know, he's going
Each
crazy
boat
about
that
it.
we sink carries drugs that would kill
He's only sunk
more
like
than
one
25,000
boat
Americans. We
publicly.
will not let that happen. Energy is another
There's
area
no
where
evidence
the
there was
United
drugs
States
on
is
it.
now thriving like never before. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way,
He hates
they're a
renewable
joke.
energy.
They don't work.
They do work.
They're too expensive. They're
That's
not
why
strong
most other
enough to
countries have been
fire up the
phasing
plants
out.
that you need to make your country great.
Literally, we have a hydro grid here in the States. Like, a lot of the dams that have been built here in the States are used to make electricity.
The wind doesn't blow.
And it's
Those
been
big
like that for a
windmills are
very
so
long time.
pathetic and so bad,
Like, literally
so
almost a century.
expensive to operate. Then they have to be rebuilt all the time, and they start to rust and rot. Most expensive energy ever conceived, and it's actually energy. You're supposed to make
You
money with
did?
energy, not lose
Damn,
money.
Darius.
You lose money, the governments have to subsidize. You can't put them out without
Yeah,
massive
that was
subsidies.
2014.
And most of them are built in China, and I give China a lot of credit. They build them, but they very few wind farms. So why is it that they build them and they send them all over the world, but they barely use them? You know what they use?
They literally
Coal.
do use them.
They use gas. They use almost anything, but they don't like wind. But they
Okay,
sure as
and
hell
coal
like
and
selling
gas
the windmills.
are
Europe-
also resources that America has. A lot of Southern America, like the Appalachian Mountain region or Appalachia or whatever. I don't know how people will say it. Most people say Appalachian or whatever. But there's lots of coal mines that existed there, lots of steel mines, that sort of manufacturing. America has those resources, and that's why he's promoting them. Has nothing to do with like how green energy is like bad or whatever. It's him trying to promote the assets that we have. This is all just like a
On the
sales
other hand, there's a
tactic.
long way to go with many countries being on the brink of destruction.
China
because
is
of the
getting more
green
invested in nuclear
agenda.
energy.
And I
That's
give
why
a lot
they're
of credit
cluing in
to
on
Germany.
them.
Germany was being led down a very sick path, both on immigration, by the way, and on energy. They were going green, and they were going bankrupt. And the new leadership came in, and they went back to where they were
Sorry.
with fossil fuel and with nuclear, which is good. It's now safe.
Why do China export and
They can do
demand
it
goods and build
properly.
infrastructure? That's
But
clearly
they
a
went
con
back to
job.
where they were, and they
There's so much
opened
like
up a lot of
Chinese,
different
East Asian
plants,
propaganda here in the States. It's
energy-producing
insane.
plants, and they're doing well. I give Germany a lot of credit for that.
Even Central
They've
Asian, like
said this is a
India.
disaster, what's happening. They were going all green. All green is all bankrupt. That's what it represents. And
No, it
it's
just
not
means that they're not
politically
going to buy
correct. I'll be
U.S.
very
goods
badly
anymore.
criticized for saying it, but I'm here to tell the truth. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in New York City. I'm feeling a lot safer. Crime, we're getting crime down.
Yeah,
And by the way, speaking of crime, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C.
I think nuclear
was
power
the
is
crime
pretty
capital
useful
of
too.
America. Now it's a totally, after 12 days, it's a totally safe city. Everyone's going out to dinner. They're
This is
going out
so
to
irrelevant
restaurants.
to
Your
what's
wife
going
can
on
walk
at
down
the UN
middle
right
of the
now.
street with or without you. Nothing's going to happen. My
This is
people have
very
done a
irrelevant.
fantastic job. And yes, I called in the National Guard, and the National Guard took care of business. And they weren't politically correct, but they took care of business. We got 1,700 career criminals out, brought them back to where they came from, the countries where they came from, or put them in jails. Washington, D.C.
After
is
12
now
days
a
of
totally
authoritarian
safe
lockdowns,
city
you
again.
can go out to dinner in
And I
Washington,
welcome
D.C.
you to come. In
They can
fact,
still
we'll have
go
dinner
out to
together
dinner.
at a local restaurant,
It's fucking stupid.
and we'll be able to walk. We don't have to go by an armor-plated vehicle. We'll walk right over there from the White House. They've given up their
Better not
powerful
jinx
edge a lot of
himself
the
like
countries that
fucking
we're
Charlie
talking
Kirk
about
did.
in oil
Holy
and
shit.
gas, such as
He's
essentially
talking a little too
closing the
big for
great
his
North
britches
Sea
right
oil.
now.
Oh, the North Sea, I know it so well. Aberdeen was the oil capital of Europe, and there's tremendous oil that hasn't been found in the North Sea. Tremendous oil. And I was with the Prime Minister I respect and like a lot, and I said, "You're sitting with the greatest asset." They essentially
Is it
closed
pop?
it by making it so highly taxed that no developer, no oil company can go there. They have tremendous oil left, and more importantly, they have tremendous oil that hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah.
And what a tremendous asset for the United Kingdom. And I hope the Prime Minister is listening, because I told it to him 3 days in a row. That's all he heard. North Sea oil, North Sea, because I want to see them do well. I want to stop seeing them ruining that beautiful Scottish and English countryside with windmills and massive solar panels that go 7 miles by 7 miles, taking away farmland. But we're not letting this happen in America.
You can
In
still farm around
1982, the
windmills too.
executive director of the United Nations Environmental Program predicted that
God.
by the year 2000, climate change would cause a global catastrophe. He said that it will be irreversible, as any nuclear holocaust would be. This is what they said at the United Nations. What happened? Here we are. Another UN official stated in
I wouldn't be
1989
surprised,
that within a
Darius.
decade, entire nations could be wiped off the map
It's better for land
by
preservation,
global
though.
warming. Not happening. You know, it used to be global cooling. If you look back years ago in the 1920s
You
and
guys
the
don't have a ton of
1930s, they said
space, so I'm not
global
surprised.
cooling will kill the world. We have to do
It's because it
something.
is, though.
Then they said global warming will kill the world. But then it started getting cooler. So now they could just call it climate change, because that way they can't.
It's not getting cooler
It's
at
climate
all.
change. Because if it goes
It's
higher
literally
or lower, whatever the hell happens.
like, according to the more recent assessments that have been released by a lot of like global researchers, I would pull it up. I just don't have a ton of time. I highly recommend you look into it, just because I like to cite my sources when I can. Long story short, America, as well as most of the entire world, is getting drier and hotter. Any rain that we do have is evaporating a lot faster, especially in the warmer months, because it's just evaporating too quickly. The hotter the air is, the more that the water, groundwater, evaporates. And because we're also over harvesting our water reserves, whether that be underwater aquifers or lakes, rivers, streams, and stuff like that, we're running out of water. People are just not.
Is climate change. It's the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world, in my opinion.
People won't be able
Climate
to grow
change, no matter
food.
what happens, you're involved.
Like, I
in
live
that.
in an ag state.
No more
This is
global
already a
warming, no more
problem here.
global cooling. All
Our
of these
aquifers are being
predictions
depleted.
made by the United Nations.
So here's the thing with aquifers. I'm not going to dive super deep, but I feel like it's important to state. Aquifers, once the water is removed, if there is not water that comes in fast enough, like within like a year or two, the aquifer starts collapsing in on itself, because there's like a bubble of air at the very top. So because the water is building pressure on the upper walls, the outer walls, and the bottom walls, that's what keeps the water in that little container. You drain that water out, and there's no pressure being exerted upwards by the water on the roof of the cavern that the aquifer is residing in, and then the aquifer gets smaller and smaller. So when you deplete your aquifers and you don't put more water in it, it cannot be replenished. That is how serious this is. And you're seeing this shit in fucking Arizona. You're seeing it, I believe, in New Mexico as well. I know it's one of those two states that has larger aquifers that are just disappearing. The Ugalala, I don't remember if it's called that or not, but I call it that. The aquifer here in Nebraska is just being drained, and even if we have adequate water, like a ton of rain and stuff like that, there is no aquifer system for that water to go into. And because of that, the water isn't there's no ability to retain it, and then we're losing more water. Because you have to have a place to store the water. If you have no place to store the water, then you're fucked. and having it underground is the best because the heat doesn't affect it as much. Anyways, Darius says this is also something that's gathering huge pace over here too. To be honest, it's wild when Las Vegas won't turn off the lights, but we get taxed to the hilt on energy. Yeah.
Many others, often for bad reasons.
And there's tons of solar farms
they were
all
made by
around.
stupid people.
Oh my god. If you drive through the West, which I've had to do many times, I had to travel all the time as a kid. I literally went out there like a year and a half, like 2 years ago, whatever, right? If you make the drive out west, there's a solar farm that's in New Mexico. There's tons of solar farms that are popping up near Vegas. Basically, they have these big pillars that are made of salt. And then they have these like mirrors that take the sunlight and hit it towards that pillar, and it creates a lot of fucking heat. And that operates as a way to, there's some mechanism inside of it or whatever, that when the salt gets really hot, it starts generating a lot of power, and that's how they do stuff. It's not even all solar energy in the way that people have like solar panels, because that doesn't work all the time. Like, if you want to take advantage of everything you have, and he doesn't even understand that there's other aspects of solar energy that exist. But most of the time, it's not even solar panels because it takes up so much space. In a desert, you can do things differently. But it's just, whatever. There's so many different ways that we can have more energy.
Countries' fortunes and given those same countries no chance for success. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail.
Scam.
And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign,
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh my God.
Trump was right about everything.
He really...
And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true.
You are being right braggadocious.
Everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam...
Yeah, salt retains energy extremely well, and then it's used to heat water at nighttime. Yeah.
People that you've never seen before, that you
I can't remember how they do it, but it's more self-sustaining.
I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people.
They're really cool to see too. Like when you're driving on the highway, you'll just see little reflective dots.
Immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage.
Oh my God.
We must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy catastrophe before it's too late. The carbon footprint is a hoax.
So my thing about like all this bullshit that he's fucking spouting is the fact that like you can say whatever you want about like the carbon footprint or whatever, but if you're about economics, having an investment into something like the solar farm that I was talking about earlier, which doesn't require a ton of upkeep or maintenance because the salt column stays the same. The mirrors you just have to clean. But if you're using gas or if you're using coal, you continuously have to keep purchasing those products from different like companies around you. Like without coal and gas, you could still have energy, and it's not even about it being green. It's just you invest your money into having more self-sustaining energy sources than having to constantly buy shit to keep stuff going. That's going to take more and more and more money out of your pocket. It's going to be a depleting resource as well. We only have so much gas and we only have so much coal. And having reserves of that is really nice in case there's some emergency that happens. But we normally won't have that as a problem. So it's better to just go with resources that you can build it up and you don't have to spend as much money trying to maintain it. It's like companies will literally invest so much money into something that will just be like a huge cost up front, but you don't have to keep purchasing into it like a fucking subscription. Like you shouldn't make energy a subscription-based model through like coal and gas. Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Made up by people with evil intentions. and they're heading down a
Like, it's
path
not even all about
of
the
total
green shit.
destruction. You know, the carbon footprint was a big, big thing a few years ago. I remember
Yeah.
hearing about the carbon footprint.
Daria
And then
says, I
President
think they
Obama
probably
would
don't
get
want to
into
devalue
Air
those
Force One, a
resources, but
massive
they're already
Boeing
being devalued. As
747,
other countries
and not a new
keep
one,
climbing
an old
ahead,
one with old engines
other
that
countries will
spew
follow.
everything into
And
the
then it will
atmosphere.
deplete eventually.
He'd talk about the
It's
carbon
like
footprint. We
staying
must
on
do
a
something. Then
sinking
he'd get in,
ship, you know?
and he'd fly from Washington to Hawaii to
It's
play a round of
stupid.
golf. And then he'd get back onto that big, beautiful plane, and he'd fly back, and he'd talk about, again, global warming and the carbon footprint. It's a con job.
Literally, you could say the same about Trump because he's literally talking about, oh, I'm the money man, I'm good with economics. Then why are you trying to have a subscription-based model to energy? It's fucking stupid. You're gonna lose more money that way. It's just
an expense. Europe reduced its own
oh my
carbon
God.
footprint by 37%. Think of that. Congratulations, Europe. Great job. You cost yourself a lot of jobs, a lot of factories closed, but you
What the fuck?
reduced the carbon footprint by 37%. However, for all of that sacrifice and much more, it's been totally wiped out and then some by a global increase of 54%.
Look, I didn't see you getting
Much of it
gold
coming
super
from
plate
China
from
and
Qatar.
other
See?
countries that are thriving around China, which now produces more CO2 than all the other developed nations in the world. So all of
Technically,
these
India is
countries are
starting
working
on
so
track to
hard
have
on the
more.
carbon footprint, which is nonsense, by the way. It's nonsense. You know, it's interesting.
I just wish someone could
In the
like
United
talk
States,
to
we
him.
have still
He's using this as like a whole
radicalized
propaganda
environmentalists,
thing.
and they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. They want to do things that are just unbelievable, and you have it too.
Where the fuck is he getting this
But
from?
you know, we have a border strong, and we have a shape, and that shape
He obviously
doesn't
did
just
it
go
first with
straight
the
up.
Industrial
That shape is
Revolution.
amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had the most clean air, and I think we do, we have
Bruh.
very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air
China's
that's a little
going
bit rough,
green, dumbass.
it
Sorry.
blows.
Well, what the
And no
fuck?
matter what you're doing down here, the air up
Oh my
here
God.
tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean. And the environmentalists refuse to acknowledge that. Same thing with garbage. In Asia, they dump much of their garbage right into the ocean. And over about a 1 week and 2 week journey, it flows right past Los Angeles. You've seen it. Massive amounts of garbage.
A
almost
lot
too
of the
much to do
Pacific
anything about.
garbage patch
Flowing
is
past Los
American
Angeles,
fucking
past San
garbage.
Francisco.
What is he
And then
on
somebody
about?
would get in trouble because he dropped a cigarette on the beach. The whole thing is crazy. The primary effect
Looting
of
the
these
world before
brutal
the
green
Chinese
energy
even knew
policies
what
has
a little poo-poo
not been
was.
to help the
Oh well,
environment,
it's imported
but
foreign
to
garbage.
redistribute
Bruh.
manufacturing and industrial activity from
Bruh.
developed countries that follow the
Like American assets in other
insane
countries.
rules that are put down to polluting countries that break the rules and are making a fortune. They're making a fortune.
Oh, my fish
European
tank filter is
electricity
going off.
bills are now
was
4 to
raining.
5 times more expensive than those in China, and 2 to 3 times higher than the United States. And our bills are coming way down. You probably see that our gasoline prices are way down. You know, we have an expression, drill.
Nós reduzimos os custos de energia porque nós faremos como a expressão, vamos fazer tudo isso, reduzir os custos de energia e os
Why are
custos
we-
diminuíram nos Estados Unidos.
Common to see one in
Por exemplo, se você olhar
electric costs.
Why are we doing Spanish?
nos países em
What the fuck? What? This is fucking C-SPAN. Why are we doing translation? I'll also have captions. I'll probably go away in a
faturas
minute.
de energia.
300 heat-related deaths.
Nós não
Related, so
mas nós nos Estados Unidos
You
conseguimos
can speak Spanish, just he's fine.
usar eles e evitar aumento da temperatura, e porque é muito caro também usar nado e ninguém usa
Pretending to stop the global
tudo isso
hoax. The
como a
of asking
What the heck?
industrialized nations,
esse agenda mundialista não tem nenhum sentido.
entire societies must be rejected
País
and
pre-
it must be immediate. That's why in America I withdrew from the fake Paris climate
Yeah,
accord,
I think we're good.
where, by the way, America was paying so much more than every country.
Because America
Others
relies
weren't
so much
paying.
more
China didn't
heavily.
have to pay until 2030. Russia was given an old
Because
standard
China
that
has
was
more
easy to meet,
incentives.
a
Oh my god.
1990 standard. But for the United States, we're supposed to pay like $1 trillion.
This is why I don't react to him. I just get so
And
pissed.
I said, this is another scam. The fact is, the United States has been taken advantage of by the world for many,
Yeah,
many
put this
years,
up
but
here,
not any
y'all.
longer, as you probably noticed. I unleashed massive energy production and signed historic executive orders to hunt for oil, but we don't have to do much hunting because we have the most oil of any nation anywhere, oil and gas in the world. And if you add coal, we have the most of any nation in the world. Clean, I call it clean, beautiful coal. You can do things today with coal that you couldn't have done 10 years ago, 15 years. So I have a little standing order in the White House. Never use the word coal, only use the words clean, beautiful coal. Sounds much better, doesn't it? But we stand ready to provide any country with abundant, affordable energy supplies if you need them. When
See,
most
it's
of
like
you
a
do.
sales pitch, y'all.
We're proudly exporting energy
Oh
all
my
over the
God.
world. We're now the largest exporter. In the United States, we want trade and
This is
robust
what I've been
commerce
talking
with
about.
all nations, everybody.
Being
We
cool,
wanna
all they
help
had to do was
nations.
wash
We're
it.
gonna
Why
help
didn't anyone
nations.
think of it before?
But it must also be fair and reciprocal. The challenge with trade is much the same with climate.
Good for your
The
lungs,
countries that
clean,
followed the rules,
clean
all their
breath,
factories
you
have
know?
been plundered.
Like an inhaler.
It's really,
Easy breezy,
really
beautiful.
sad to watch. They've been
Cover
broken.
girl.
They've been broken by countries that broke the rules. That's why the United States is now applying tariffs to other countries, and
I
much
could have made
as
such a
these
better joke
tariffs
with that.
were
Damn
for many
it.
years applied to us, uncontrollably applied to us.
Uh,
We've used tariffs as a defense mechanism under the Trump administration, including my first term, where hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs were taken in. And by the way, we had the lowest inflation, and now we have very low inflation. The only thing different is that we have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into our country. But this
That's
is how we
crazy.
will ensure that the system works
What
for
the
everyone and
fuck?
is sustainable into the future. We're also using tariffs to defend our sovereignty and security throughout the world, including against nations that have taken advantage of former U.S. administrations for decades, including the most corrupt, incompetent administration in history, the sleepy Joe Biden
God.
administration.
All he does is bring
Brazil
up
now
Joe Biden.
faces
Chill the fuck
major tariffs in
out.
response to its unprecedented efforts to interfere in the rights and freedoms
He's not
of
even doing a
our
good job
American
at
citizens
lecturing
and
either.
others. With censorship,
You can't even,
repression,
like-
weaponization, judicial corruption,
He's literally
and
insane, Darius.
targeting
You're
of
right.
political critics in the United States. I have a little problem saying this because I must tell you, I was walking in and the leader of Brazil was walking out. We saw him and I saw him, he saw me, and we embraced. And then I'm saying, can you believe I'm going to be saying this in just 2 minutes? But we actually agreed that we would meet next week. We didn't have much time to talk, like
Wonder what
about
they were
20
talking
seconds.
about.
They were
Every time they
in
cut the camera, I'm like,
retrospect,
well, what's going
I'm
on?
glad I waited
I
because
wanna
this
know.
thing didn't work out too
They
well.
just woke him up.
But we did talk. We had a good talk, and we agreed to meet next week, if that's of interest. But he seemed like a very nice man, actually. He liked me. I liked him. But if you and I only do business with people I like. When I don't like them, I don't like them. But we had, at least for about 39 seconds, we had excellent chemistry. It's a good sign. But also in the past, Brazil, can you believe this, unfairly tariffed our nation, but now because of our tariffs, we are hitting them back, and we're hitting them back very hard. As president, I will always defend our national sovereignty and the rights of American citizens. So I'm very sorry to say this, that Brazil is doing poorly and will continue to do
What the fuck?
poorly.
This is.
They can only do well when they're working with us.
I can almost guarantee to you, Mr. Meows, that he doesn't have like an actual script for his teleprompter. I've helped set up teleprompter stuff for a couple of different events and that sort of thing. And I had to do it all the time when I was a kid. But most teleprompters, depending on the person, you either have the exact speech, but primarily only news outlets use that. So if you're trying to cover the news for something or whatever, go off of a script for like a skit or something. Having a teleprompter was really nice because then you can reference it. When you're doing long-standing speeches, you want there to be like bullet points, and usually that's what you see on the teleprompter. It'll just be like, oh, be it like XYZ, and it's usually a shorthand for the person who is like speaking. So sometimes it's like actual sentences, but other times it could just be like China or like energy or something like that, just to keep you in like good pacing and that sort of thing. Because usually speeches are
Without us,
timed
they will
out
fail,
pace-wise.
just as others have failed.
Otherwise, it's really
Next
easy to
year,
go
the
over.
United
I'm
States
really
will
bad at that. I
celebrate
go
the
over all the
250th
time.
anniversary of our glorious independence,
Ah,
a
it's so
testament
bad.
to enduring power and American
Yeah.
freedom and spirit. We will also be proudly hosting the
If not, then the
2026
writers are
FIFA
authentic.
World
Yep, yeah.
Cup, and shortly thereafter the 2028 Olympics, which is going to be very exciting. I hope you all come. I hope that countless people from all over the globe will take part of these will be great celebrations of liberty and human achievement, and that together we all can rejoice in the miracles of history that began in July 4th, 1776, when we founded the light to all nations. And it's something really that an amazing thing came out of that date. It's called the United States of America. In honor of this momentous anniversary, I hope that all countries who find inspiration in our example will join us in renewing our commitment, values,
No.
and those values really
Like,
that
it
we
makes
hold so
sense
dear
to have like a
together.
little bit of
Let us
nationalism. Like, I'm
defend
not
free
gonna be
speech and
shitty,
free
but it's
expression.
just
Let us protect
what he's
religious
trying to wrap
liberty,
it into
including
is
for the
just
most
ridiculous
persecuted
IMO.
religion
And I feel like,
on the planet today.
oh
It's
my
called
god.
Christianity.
Oh my
And let us
god.
safeguard our sovereignty
Are
and
you
cherish
fucking kidding
qualities
me?
that have made each of our nations so
The
special,
lar-
incredible, and extraordinary. In closing, I just want to repeat that immigration and the high cost of so-called green renewable energy is destroying a large part of the free world and a large part of our planet.
Oh
Countries
my
that cherish
god.
freedom are
Bro.
fading fast because of their policies on these two subjects. You need strong borders and traditional energy sources if you are going to be great again. Whether you have come from north or south, east or west, near or far, every leader in this
Now he's reading off
beautiful
the
hall
prompter.
today represents a rich culture, a noble history, and a proud heritage that makes each nation majestic and unique, unlike anything else in human history or any other place on the face of the earth. From London to Lima, from Rome to Athens, from Paris to Seoul,
Oh my
from
god.
Cairo to Tokyo, and
Andrew's like, you
Amsterdam
gotta
to right
hurry
here
up.
in New
We
York
gotta
City,
go soon.
we stand on the shoulders of the leaders and legends, generals and giants, heroes and titans who won
Whether
and
you
built
come
our
by
beloved
spaceship,
nations,
helicopter,
all
boat,
of
or
our
time
nations, with their
travel.
own courage, strength,
Why would
spirit,
anyone
and
want to come
skill.
back to this
Our
time, yo?
ancestors climbed mountains, conquered oceans, crossed deserts, and trekked over wide open plains. They charged into thunderous battles, plunged into grave dangers, and they were soldiers and farmers and workers and warriors and explorers and patriots.
Okay.
They built towns into cities, tribes into kingdoms, ideas into industries,
But
and
he doesn't
small
talk about
islands into
how
mighty empires.
crazy,
You're a part of all of that.
like,
They were
those little
champions for their
towns
people who
were
never gave up and who never,
up until,
ever
like, the
gave in.
early
Their values
1900s.
defined our national identities. Their visions forged our magnificent destiny. Everybody in this room is a part of it in your own way. Each of us inherits the
reading.
deeds and the myths the triumphs, the legacies
He
of
has
our
two
own heroes and
prompters, one on each
founders who
side.
so bravely showed us the
You might
way.
have one in front of
Our
him too,
ancestors
center,
gave everything for
but I highly doubt
homelands
it.
that they defended with pride, with sweat, with blood, with life, and with death. Now the righteous task in protecting the
I
nations
know.
that they built belongs to
He's
each
too
and
old,
every
his
one of
knees,
us.
you know?
So
He can't
together
handle
let
it.
us uphold our sacred duty to our people and to our citizens. Let us protect their
He doesn't
borders,
go to the gym.
ensure their safety,
I know, I
preserve their
see you.
cultures, treasure, and
He's got like a
traditions.
minute. It's literally,
And
he's giving
fight,
his
fight,
closing
fight
statement,
for
and
their
then I'll
precious
go.
dreams and their cherished freedoms. And in friendship and
This man's
really
crazy.
a beautiful vision, let us all work together to build a bright, beautiful planet, a planet that we all share, a planet of peace and a world that is richer, better, and more beautiful than ever before.
Literally
That can happen.
not promoting
It will
peace like
happen.
at all,
It will
just
happen, and I hope
nationalism
it can
the entire
happen
fucking
and
time.
start right now, right at this moment. We'll turn it around. We're going to make our countries
He's
better,
either too old or not
safer,
too old enough.
more beautiful. We're going to take care of our people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. God bless the nations of the world. Thank you very much. Bye.
I'm glad I waited to watch this with you guys because you get my authentic reaction to his bullshit. Okay, I'll watch that later. That was so short. 12 minutes? 13 minutes? And then Trump gets like a fucking hour? When he turns 70, you'll run for office too? Bruh. Yeah, y'all. Man, it's like so weird because here in America we have like a gap. We have people who are really young that are running. Like there's already some locals in my area that have started their campaigns. I'm not gonna dive super deep into that though because let's see what they do with it. Let's see. But yeah. Like I know Iowa's doing some things right now, especially with their cities. They're like that's like local politics. But yeah, totally run for office. The office only discriminates via wait, actually I should chill the fuck out. I should chill the fuck out. Okay, I gotta go. But anyways, no more jokes. No more jokes till later, chat. I should probably get going. I did enjoy reacting to this. I am hoping to do a lot more like react content like this because honestly, why not? We can all just get angry together. And then it's good for me because then I get to sit here and I can actually like not just suppress my feelings because I'm like working and listening to shit. I can actually sit here and be like, what the fuck? You want more jokes? Andrew. Chat says they want more of my political jokes. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. But anyways, maybe you'll get them. Maybe you'll get them. A lot of them are just fucking insults. Just creative insults. We need a Eurocentric October. You want... Yo, I love global politics. Global politics is like my... I mean, I get involved in American politics because we're just a fucking shit show, but I prefer talking more about global politics than what's happening here. I have been catching up with a lot of things and expanding. I'm getting more history into like Africa, the Gulf area, the region, that sort of thing, and yeah, there's lots of different stuff. Darius says, a deep dive into the issues around Manchester-Liverpool Canal in the late 1800s. If I go there, I will do a live stream and do historic content like that. I want to, so I like it's goal bucket list. I want to do it so bad, but y'all gotta wait. Y'all gotta fucking wait. I still gotta keep developing stream stuff. Mr. Mouse says, anyway, I had to step away. Did he say what he will do about Gaza, Ukraine? No. No, it's just all showboating. He's trying to be like, I'm gonna do stuff. I promise. I promise I'll do stuff. I'll help make a change. Such a little conceited cunt, you know? But anyways, if you follow me, canal, I'll play Baywatch music and then when they come to sing. Okay, I gotta go. I guess it's time for me to go. I guess it's time for me to go now. I love how my outro is just getting longer and longer. But anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Maybe we can do some React content later on. Tomorrow is cooking stream, and we're gonna be making a Grecian soup. I'm actually really excited. It's very good. It's kind of like a chicken noodle soup thing, and it tastes really fucking good. So I'm gonna fucking make it. It's gonna be delicious. Yum yum yum. But anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and sleep well, stay safe, stay alive, and dudes.